I've been dropshipping for over 7 years now and have done over $10 million in sales while helping over 100 plus one-on-one students go from zero to over $1,000 a day with their own brands. And today, I want to share with you the biggest lessons that I wish I knew before I got started dropshipping so that you can fully understand what you're actually getting into, especially if you're someone on the fence and you don't know if you want to start a store yet and you're trying to weigh out what are the pros and what are the cons. And we're going to give you all of that in this video because obviously, like with any business model, it's not all sunshine, rainbows, and Lambos and Bugattis. No. Obviously, there's problems. Obviously, there's a lot of trial and tribulation and skills that you need to learn first before you can even sniff a penny of profit. And I'm going to teach you exactly what you need to know, exactly what the journey is going to look like for you. And then by the end of this video, you're going to fully understand if this is the right business for you. Because obviously, there's Forex, there's crypto, there's a lot of other things that are out there. And the first thing you might be wondering in the first place is dropshipping dead? Because I'm sure you've seen on social media people saying that it is overdone, it is oversaturated, but let me just break down the numbers logically for you and you can come to your own conclusion. In 2020, that was when dropshipping was the most profitable. That was when COVID times were hitting. People were online, obviously shopping at record heights. But even back then, e-commerce as a whole, the industry was around a $700 billion industry. And there was around, I would say, close to 5 to 10 million dropshippers that were fighting for that total pie. Now, flash forward to today, naturally, year over year, e-commerce still is growing in sales. And when we go from that number of 700 billion, it's now closer to $1.1 trillion in sales. The pie has gotten bigger, substantially, over 50% bigger. And the total number of dropshippers has actually dwindled down from, I would say, a peak of around 5 to 10 million to closer to about 2 to 3 million today. It's been cut in half. So now we have a bigger pie and less people fighting for it. Yet people's natural response to seeing that there's less dropshippers is, oh, it must be dead. Which makes absolutely no freaking sense. There are so many product opportunities that literally any product you see on social media, you can sell today. Whether it's a supplement where you're saying, well, that's probably a complicated formula, that person selling it's probably got it fully branded and patented out. No. You could send that to a commercive, to an AutoDS, to a private sourcing agent like in my program, and you can get multiple quotes to see which one is giving you the best price and shipping times to sell that product and build a brand around it today. It is so freaking easy. All the suppliers now are shipping 1 to 2 weeks. You are getting competitive quotes if you do it strategically by having multiple suppliers on deck for whatever product you want to sell. To build your website, there are plenty of AI tools that are out there that are actually really solid. There are templates that you can use on Pagefly or Shrine, these themes that make it so easy to create a high converting product page literally in an hour. It is so simple, and I have plenty of videos showing how to do that. When it comes to ads, you can use image ad templates using a tool like Creative OS. You can download those top templates, plug in the copy of your product, the headlines, the messaging, and you can create 20 ads, which usually in the past would take days, but you can do that literally in 30 minutes. Everything has gotten more efficient. There are more products out there. It just requires you to put in the freaking work. So dropshipping is not dead. And there was plenty of examples of one-on-one students inside my program that are crushing it. In fact, we have a 16-year-old that I was flexing in a few videos in the past where he started my program and after 2 months is now scaling to $2,000 a day just because he learned the right strategies, implemented it, did it with some speed and some urgency because he wanted to see results. He was hungry. He was doing the right things. He learned from the feedback we were giving him on where he needed to improve his skills. And naturally, he got a winning product and he's starting to scale it up using the methods that are already tried and tested. It isn't rocket science, people. And the reality is you have to look at yourself in the mirror and realize that there are people that are younger than you. There are people that are dumber than you. There are people that live in shittier countries than you, and they're making more money than you. You have zero excuse. And until you take some accountability, you will never be successful in any business. All of the choices you have made in your life have led you to where you are currently at while you're watching this video. So if you're not happy with where you're at and you're looking for something that can give you purpose, you're looking for something that can give you direction and have the ceiling, have that scaling potential that almost feels infinite when you master the skills, then I would say dropshipping is the right thing for you. But how do you actually make it work? Well, the first thing you need to realize, and this is one of the cons, and if you're not cool with this, then you shouldn't get started. Honestly, you shouldn't even start a business in the first place. Dropshipping takes time. You are going to watch these challenges, 24 hours, 7 days, where people make money immediately. And you're going to say to yourself, that should be me. I can do that. If that's all it takes, then of course, I will do that. That's not reality. You are watching pros. You are watching experts with years of experience who most likely already tested those products before that video, knew they were proven, already had the right ads, and now are testing them on camera to make it seem like they obviously are just scaling any product that they choose. That's not how it works. How this game works is that you are going to put in reps for the next few weeks, the next few months, maybe even the next few years. And if you're not comfortable with that, you shouldn't even get started, because when you put in these reps, you are going to develop your skills naturally, because you want to focus on quantity over quality, because naturally the quality of each test is going to improve as you put in more reps. So you need to be someone that does imperfect action. You cannot be a perfectionist. You cannot take weeks to test one product because it simply isn't worth the time investment. 90% of products are going to fail, even when you do everything right. Even for me, 90% of products fail. So when you realize that, you don't want to put too much time on one individual product and marry it. Just because you put in a lot of time and energy and focus to it doesn't mean it's going to work. And you have to be cool with that. You have to be willing to move on. Even while you're testing a product, you should be in the back of your mind thinking about what's the next 2, 3, 4 products that I'm about to test. Because you have to constantly be moving, constantly be testing, constantly be iterating. Learn from the last 3, 5, 10 product tests. What went wrong? Are my ad costs consistently higher? Okay, I need to put more emphasis on researching my audiences, clearly. However I'm doing it right now, I probably need to make a few tweaks. That doesn't mean I need to completely scratch the way that I've been doing my research. No. Because when you learn a strategy that you know works and it's worked for other people, and if you join a program like mine or someone else's where you know there's clear results from other students, stick to that. Because the real reason why you haven't gotten results yet with that strategy that is proven is you just haven't learned how to execute it well enough. And 90% of business is execution, 10% is strategies. Yet beginners overvalue strategies like there's no tomorrow. They think the media buying strategy is going to be the thing that changes it. They think swapping out their pixel, doing some sort of black hat secret is finally going to be the thing that unlocks success. My friend, there is no one click, there is no one button you can press and magically print out money. What will help you make money is realizing that you need to become someone that deserves to make money. You have to attract money instead of constantly chasing. Because the person that's going to be chasing money is the one that's going to be constantly just ripping ads, half-assing things, and just, frankly, not really giving a fuck about their tests. But to be someone that attracts money in the dropshipping space, that deserves to make money, is someone that has developed their skills, that has put in the time and attention, that focuses on the inputs rather than outputs. When you detach yourself from the outcome is when you will start getting the outcome naturally. You have to realize, who is the person I need to become to get to whatever my goal is? If your goal is to get to 6 figures a month, then who do you need to become? What are the daily activities you need to do every single day? What are the things you need to start prioritizing more in your life? What are the bad habits and things you need to start sacrificing? Because if you don't make sacrifices, then you don't deserve to be at this level, at this, I would say, goal that you've set for yourself. It's going to require you to sacrifice who you are today for who you need to become tomorrow in order to see that life, to reach your potential that you know you're capable of. If you don't feel the need to change, if you don't feel disgusted by who you are and what you're doing every single day and where you're currently at, you are not going to change enough to be someone that becomes successful in this space. It requires dedication. It requires, at a bare minimum, you to be obsessed with studying ads, studying websites, testing products. This needs to be your life. And if you're not comfortable with this being your whole life, if you want this to be a side hobby, then guess what? You're going to get side hobby results, which means you're going to be losing money. Because no one that's making money in dropshipping is treating it like a hobby. They're treating it like a legitimate business, in which it is. They are putting in 3 to 6 to 9 hours of productive, focused work on the right task every single day to get ahead, to make better ads, to make better websites, to test more products. And by just focusing on those things, focusing on those inputs, naturally they're getting the outputs that everyone wants. Simple as that. But if you're so focused on making money and chasing it, you are going to get discouraged because you are not going to make money the first few months. And if you're not cool with that, do not get started. Quit. Stick with your 9 to 5. Stick with whatever the hell you're doing of gooning while playing Fortnite with your boys. It's fun. It's not very fulfilling though. Trust me. I've been there. Now, what are the skills you need to learn and how can you learn them as fast as humanly possible? The most important skill you need to learn in dropshipping, really the only skill, because let's be honest, product research. For the most part with products, everyone's going to be selling the same products. That's just part of the game. It's about who can outmarket the other person selling the same product as you. So marketing and copywriting are really the only skills that differentiate people. Now, how do you learn marketing? I believe the fastest way you can learn marketing is by studying the best. studying the best dropshippers. Don't study actual e-commerce brands because that's completely different. They have trust, they have social proof, they have all these other things that as a dropshipper you don't have available to you. Study actual dropshipping brands that don't have all of that but are still crushing it. Study the Ace Men's of the world. Study anybody on PP ads that's right now starting to do really well, that have over 1 million impressions on their ads. Study Calodata, because in Calodata, those aren't even real brands. Those are just people talking to a camera with a video. And they're getting people to buy at insane levels. Go on Calodata, get a subscription. Go on PP ads, get a subscription. If you don't have access to that, my Discord, we have over $500 a month worth of tools that you get for less than $100 a month. Cheat code. I would highly recommend you join that. Even for that, the course, we have weekly calls, we have everything you would need. But when you get into these, study these ads, study these hooks, study the frameworks that they use and start implementing those today. Before you get started, you should already have a list of different ad templates for both images and videos. You should have the exact way that they format their scripts. You should have a list of at least 50 to 100 different hook templates that you can plug and play when you're making your own ads. You need to study the best. And when it comes to marketing in general, there's a few books I would recommend. Dan Kennedy is one of my favorite marketers. He's direct response, and all dropshipping is direct response. You are trying to get someone to watch an ad and take a desired action, which is buying your product. Now, how do you do that? You have to understand emotional triggers. You have to understand what matters to that customer. You have to understand what are their core desires. You have to understand what problems that they have that they really want to get away from. If you don't understand their pain points and their desires, you will not be successful. So, once you understand all that, a lot of the ways you can tie this together and really understand how to research your audience and get into their shoes is by reading copy from the best copywriters in the world. So Dan Kennedy has multiple books. Magnetic Marketing, he has so many great ones. I would recommend at least reading 1 to 2. Obviously, there's Ogilvy on Advertising, another great book. Scientific Advertising, I believe is the name. Amazing book. Would highly recommend. I'm not the biggest book reader. I'm honestly borderline illiterate. Barely graduated from high school. But I would say if you read those books and you study the best copywriters, there's people like Ben Settle. There's people like Justin Wool, like the modern day copywriters, the ClickFunnels direct response guys, the Russell Brunson's of the world. Russell Brunson, another great one. He has so many great principles inside his books for ClickFunnels about unique value propositions. It's about understanding that your target customer is at point A and they want to get to point B, but they're looking for the fastest way. They're looking for a bridge between the gap of who they are right now and who they want to be. And your product is that bridge. You need to sell them on why your product is different than every other product. Those principles are so important because it's exactly the bedrock of what you're selling. And just as an example, I was selling a waist trainer, and that was one of my biggest winners 4 or 5 years ago. And what I did is I had to convince people, overweight women, that this was the easiest way for them to lose weight. I had to convince them that dieting was too difficult for them. It's too hard to stay consistent to a diet. That going to the gym, it's too long of a drive and that you get judged by other people. It's just insecurity galore. So this is the easiest way that you can lose weight in the comfort of your own home in only a few minutes a day. You have to sell them on why this is the easiest, fastest, most affordable solution. Because they don't feel like it is, they're not going to buy. So marketing is really all that it comes down to. So read the books, study the best copywriters in the world today, look up direct response copywriting letters, VSLs, stuff of that nature, and you are going to understand what good copywriting looks like. And good copywriting is really with them. What's in it for me? Every single line of your copy and your product descriptions and your ads should make the reader think, what is in it for me? What am I getting? That is all they care about. We are egocentric people. I can guarantee when you want to buy a product, when you are reading the copy, when you are watching the video, you are just thinking to yourself, how does this apply to me? How does this solve a problem in my life? How can this be something that's useful for me? So your job as a marketer is to show the use case of your product, show when it's valuable, show what it's going to do for you, what problems it's going to get rid of in your life. And that is what will get people to buy. But you have to understand your audience at a deep level to understand what's really going to make them want to buy. And what are those use cases? What are those benefits that really speak to them? Whoever can speak the best and the most relatably to their customer is the one that always wins. And that's why Calodata, those ads work so freaking well because they're so freaking relatable. Now, the other skills you're going to need to learn, obviously product research, there's plenty of tools. Calodata, PP ads, Temu. I have plenty of videos, break down each one. You watch those videos, they're completely free. Watch those, apply them, you'll be fine. You'll find a good list of products. Use the criteria. My general criteria is just look for products that have good margins and a good perceived value, which means at least $25 margin and at least 3x more than it costs from your supplier. So for instance, if a product costs me $10, I need to be able to sell it for at least $35. Does that make sense? It's a $25 margin and it's 3x more than what it cost me. Plus, I want to make sure it has demand. It's an evergreen product. It's always making sales year round. It has plenty of content that I can use to make ads. and it is a problem-solving product. I personally like problem-solving products. Those are the main real key things. And that's got good reviews on Amazon. You don't want to sell a crap product. Otherwise, you're going to deal with tons of returns and chargebacks. It's not worth the headache. Now, the other two skills you need to learn are video editing and website design. Video editing is something that honestly, it takes so long for beginners. I've coached plenty of beginners, and just because it takes so long, I would say it's more important just for efficiency's sakes to get product tests up immediately, to at least get one test up a week. That's not too complicated or hard to do, and you don't have to necessarily rush it. But because video editing takes so long, and obviously I have a tutorial, my most recent tutorial is literally on how to edit video ads inside of CapCut. Highly recommend watching that. But it's something that takes so long that I would honestly recommend in the beginning just to outsource it to a company like Viral Ecom Ads, to an editor that you might find off of Fiverr or Upwork. Viral Ecom Ads is probably your best option. I have a discount code down below. I do know that you can get 4 or 5 ads for relatively cheap, which is great. And that's really, in terms of video ads, really all you need when testing. I mean, 5 to 10 video ads is plenty. That's really all you need. Then you mix it up with another 5 to 10 image ads, and you're in a really good spot. Now, how you get image ad templates, I would highly recommend just use creative.os, sign up, free trial, cancel it before it ends, download all of those Canva links of those templates, and then you use them forever. Boom, deal. Great deal. Website design. Use Shrine. Use the Glow by Lumen theme. Those are the only 2 themes you ever need. Now, if you're selling clothing, Impulse or Prestige. Those are the only 2 themes you need for those. Once you choose your theme, use the different templates out there. And now, if you don't have templates, obviously, I would highly recommend joining a program because that will make it easier, like my own. Or you just have to make it from scratch. And then once you have a good product page template done for problem-solving products, then you just reuse that every single time you're testing a new one. Then make a template for clothing products and non-problem solvers, and then you'll use that every single time. You just want to get to the point with website design where you have a good enough template where you have the key things, the above the fold, you have custom product images, you have bullet point benefits, you have good offers, you're using Ka-ching, you're split testing your offer using A/B convert, which I know I've said a million times, but you guys are still not doing it. I know you're not. You're split testing your offers because that's the most important variable on your product page. Your below the fold has multiple descriptions where you're laying out, here's the problem that you're currently facing, here's why this is the best solution. You have multiple forms of social proof, so either video reviews, image reviews, Trustpilot, a doctor, authority figure. You have multiple forms of social proof that guarantee your shipping times and more reviews and frequently asked questions. You have all those things, you are golden. That you don't need more, you don't need less. But you obviously have to make sure it's designed well. You have to make sure with each product you are doing the right research to understand who really is your market, who are we speaking to, what's going to make them want to buy, etc., etc. Now, the last thing I want to really get into is what are the problems that you're going to deal with? What are the biggest problems? We'll be quick with this. The 2 biggest problems that you are going to deal with is, first off, analysis paralysis. You are just someone that just watches too many videos. You don't want to take action. You feel like you need to know everything before you get started. And the reality is you're not going to know everything. The fastest way to learn this skill, the fastest way to get to your goal, which I know is really what you care about. You just want to get to your goal. The fastest way to get there is put in the reps, learn through trial and error, learn from the right people that are a few steps ahead of you that can guide you and teach you what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. Get into the right environment where you're around other people who've been successful, that are going through the same stages, the same journey as you, so you can feel supported and motivated and held accountable to do the right things every day. And that's going to give you the best chance. Not watching a bunch of videos, not buying a bunch of courses. That is not getting you closer to your goal. I know swiping your credit card and buying a $1,000 course feels like you're getting one step closer. You're not. You have not taken any action. Action is what gets you closer. You need an action bias. You need to be comfortable with realizing you're not going to know everything. And while that might be a little scary, you're just going to say, fuck it. We're going to learn this on the spot. I'm going to test. I'm going to iterate. I'm going to get better every single time. That is how you improve so freaking fast that you make it almost impossible not to get results because you're focusing on the right inputs. The right inputs isn't watching videos, buying courses. The right inputs is doing your product research, building websites, creating ads, and testing products. If you focus on those 4 things and never watch another YouTube video again, you are going to be dramatically further in a year than someone who has been watching every single video and feels like they know every little detail but have only tested one product. You're going to learn so much faster by testing 20 products over 3 months than testing 20 products over 2 to 3 years. And let's be honest, you're not going to put 2 to 3 years into this. You're not. You're going to give up after 3 to 6 months if you don't see noticeable results. And rightfully so. I don't blame you. I was the same way. I did over $50,000 in sales my first year. I didn't make any money from it, but I saw very noticeable proof that, okay, this can work for me if I just tweak a few things. Now, the last thing is just hopping from strategy to strategy. As I mentioned earlier, the strategies are not going to be the thing that makes you. What's going to make you is becoming the best version of yourself, becoming the person that realizes that inputs are more important than literally anything else. Detach from the outcome, realize that almost every strategy works. I just need to stick to it long enough to get enough execution to develop it stick to a strategy long enough to where I'm comfortable executing it and actually testing products at the high enough quality level for them to succeed. Because for instance, I could have Messi teach me how to kick a soccer ball. If I've never kicked a soccer ball in my life, it's going to take me a few years to really master that strategy he's given me. It doesn't mean the strategy is wrong if I'm fucking up and kicking it to the sky. No, that's me. I don't know how to execute. I haven't put in enough reps. So put in more reps. Realize that it's the strategy that you need to stick to. You don't bounce from strategy to strategy because you never get good at any strategies, and it's just an endless loop. It's an endless cycle. And I get that naturally when you try something, if it doesn't work out, your response as an entrepreneur is, okay, I need to tweak things. In this case, you don't tweak things. You realize the thing you need to tweak is just getting better at it. Focusing more on the quality of each test getting better. But you can only get better quality, as we mentioned earlier, through more quantity. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you understand what you're really getting into. And I hope that you do start this journey. And if you ever need help with it and you want to work with me directly, I have a one-on-one program down below that you can apply for. We're the only program that guarantees you'll hit $1,000 a day within the next 180 days, or we keep coaching you for free until you do. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.